You know what's funny? We live in an age where everyone's obsessed with being multi skilled. LinkedIn profiles that look like a grocery list, Instagram bios claiming expertise in 17 different things. And here we are, drowning in shallow pools while pretending we're Olympic swimmers. But let me tell you a story not about success, not about some miraculous transformation, but about fear. Real, gut wrenching, embarrassing fear. I was terrified of water, not just scared, terrified. Anything deeper than 3 feet felt like an abyss waiting to swallow me whole. And yet, there was something about deep water that wouldn't leave me alone. It called to me, like, like Young would say. It was my shadow, the thing I feared the most, was also what I needed the most. Okay, picture this. A grown person standing at the edge of a pool, heart racing, palms sweating, having a full blown existential crisis over water. Water. The thing that covers 70% of a planet and our body. The thing we're literally made of. And here I was, running towards it like an excited child, then away from it like a frightened cat. There's something beautifully human about that contradiction, isn't there? We're drawn to exactly what terrifies us. Freud would call it death drive. I call it being dramatically human. So I did what any person in denial does. I threw money at the problem. Swimming classes, professional instructor, proper goggles, the whole package. Because surely, if I learn the technique, the fear will just disappear, right? Wrong. So beautifully, frustratingly wrong. For one straight month, I showed up every single day. And you know what happened? I learned to swim in 5 feet. The instructor was pleased. I could do the strokes. I understood the breathing technique. On paper, I was a swimmer. Then he took me to the 10 feet pool. And every single day, it would take me 30 to 40 minutes just to stop my body from shaking. Just to convince my nervous system that we weren't about to die. Even after learning all the techniques, even after knowing I could swim. But here's the thing nobody tells you about learning. Knowing how to do something and being able to actually do it are two entirely different universes. I would panic mid swim for no reason, no logical explainable reason. I would just drown in 5 feet of water where I could literally stand up. The depth wasn't even the real issue, it was the water itself. The presence of water, the unfamiliarity of being in an element that wasn't mine. And this is where it gets interesting from a psychological perspective. My conscious mind had learned to swim, but my unconscious, my body, they were still screaming, this isn't safe, this isn't safe, this isn't home, get out. Life has this peculiar way of putting you exactly where you need to be. I ended up in an ashram next to a river stream. Because, of course, I did. The universe has a sense of humor that would make any comedian jealous. And the water, it called again. That same haunting, terrifying, beautiful call. But this time, something was different. I was alone. Completely alone. No instructor to save me, no lifeguard watching. Just me. And the flowing stream and my ridiculous fear. I started small, pathetically small. I sat near it for days. Then one day I dipped my feet in it. Just my feet. And you know what I did? I pulled them out. Put them back in. Pull them out. Like some kind of indecisive experiment in courage. I must have looked absolutely ridiculous. a grown adult playing footsie with a river alone, probably talking to myself. But here's what happened in those moments of sitting in that discomfort, in that vulnerability. I became familiar with the water. Not comfortable, familiar. There's a huge difference. The water stopped being the enemy. It stopped being this foreign, hostile element. It became just water. Water that flowed. Water that was cold. Water that existed whether I feared it or not. And within days, the dread began to dissolve. Not because I learned better swimming techniques, not because I became braver, but because I gave myself permission to just be with the thing I feared. Now let's talk about what this means for everyone else in life. Because here we are in 2024, in this absolutely chaotic, fast paced, skill obsessed world. Everyone's telling you to learn faster, do more, be better, learn coding in 30 days, master public speaking in a week, become a digital marketing expert in 48 hours. It's exhausting. And it's a lie. See, we can learn the mechanics of anything relatively quickly. You can watch a YouTube tutorial, take an online class, read all the books. You can learn to swim technically in a week. But you cannot skip becoming familiar with the deep waters. You cannot hack your way past the discomfort of being in a new environment. You cannot shortcut the process of making friends with uncertainty. Carl Jung talked about individuation, the process of becoming whole by integrating all parts of ourselves, especially the parts we reject. And what are we rejecting when we rush through learning? We're rejecting the discomfort, the awkwardness, the not knowing, the vulnerability of being a beginner. Freud would say we're trying to bypass the anxiety that comes with the growth. But here's the thing about anxiety, it's information. It's your psyche telling you, hey, we're in a new territory, we need time to adjust. So here's what I learned, and here's what I'm telling you. When you want to learn a new skill, the first step isn't learning the skill itself. The first step is becoming familiar with the environment of that skill. Want to be a writer? Don't just learn grammar and structure. Sit with a blank page. Become familiar with the discomfort of having nothing to say. Learn to breathe in that space. Want to start a business? Don't just learn business strategies. Sit with the uncertainty, the fear of failure, the weight of responsibility. Breathe in those waters. Want to speak publicly? Do you? Don't just memorize techniques. Become familiar with being seen, with being vulnerable, with the possibility of judgment. Because here's what happens if you skip this step. You might learn the skill faster than others. You might technically know what to do, but when it's time to perform, when it's time to actually do the thing in real life, you'll panic. You'll drown in 5 feet of water where you could easily stand. You'll know all the right moves but won't be able to execute them when it matters. Because your nervous system, your unconscious mind, your body, they haven't made peace with the environment yet. And I get it. This isn't a sexy advice. Nobody's going to make a viral reel about sit with discomfort for a week. And I get it. This isn't a sexy advice. Nobody's going to make a viral reel about sit with discomfort for a few weeks. There's no quick hack here. No one weird trick. It's just you and the deep waters and the slow, unglamorous process of becoming familiar with what scares you. So the next time you want to learn something new, remember, it's not just about the skill. It's about learning to breathe in the environment where that skill lives. Sit by the water before you try to swim across it. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Give yourself permission to be awkward, scared, and unfamiliar because that's where real learning happens. Not in the tutorials, but in those quiet moments of sitting with your fear and saying, okay, I see you. I'm staying anyway. I'm not a master swimmer right now. I'm not even particularly good at it, but I'm not afraid anymore. And that, my friends, is worth more than any skill I could have ever rushed to learn. The deep waters will always be there, calling. And now, I know how to answer. Take your time, breathe deeply. The marathon can wait. Your future self will thank you.